Okay, good afternoon from Boracay Island. I believe it might be the 13th. Losing track of time on island time out here. So today I want to talk about why I left the West, America to be specific, 20 years before proper retirement at what's considered a young age to, I guess, retire. But I mean, I guess I'm semi-retired because I'm doing things to generate income and have tons of energy and stuff. But I decided to leave the United States permanently. A lot of people travel, they become, travelers, and they, hop around the globe if they're financially free, and they, do this and that. But usually people don't make a permanent move to a Southeast Asia or anywhere for that matter in what my father described as your prime earning years. For me, I think I just really had enough of the United States and the politics and the masculinity and the masculinity from women, obviously, the pricing, the inflation just kept going up and up and up. And I really just wasn't interested any longer in existing in that environment. And I had the money to make the change and was confident in my ability to generate income overseas. So I decided to do a little trial trip. I've stated many times that I had initially been thinking Thailand. I had been with a Thai woman for many years, and I had always thought that that would be an interesting thing. And she had actually encouraged that and said that, I guess if in the event that we ever split, that I would love Thailand and Thailand would love me. But I started investigating the Philippines, and I liked what I was seeing. And there is really no way to know anything for sure until you go somewhere. You can't really just watch YouTube videos or do online searches or talk to buddies that have been there for a week. You actually have to go somewhere and get your boots on the ground, as they would say, and see if it's right for you. So that's exactly what I did. I flew into Mactan, Newtown, and I got there in the middle of the night, I remember, and it was quite the scene. I was exhausted. I had been up for 30 hours. I got into the Grab, as I knew better than to take a taxi, of course, and there was dogs running in the street. There was scooters with no lights on, riding with 3 people on them. There was chicken, you name it, it was happening. And it was a party night, as they say in the Philippines. It was probably 3 a.m. or something, I don't even know. But anyways, I got there, and I had plans to meet a girl in Lapu-Lapu, and I decided against that. I had almost booked 30 days there, and there was all these plans between us and stuff, and I thought, you know what? This girl's clinging a little too strong and saying I love you and stuff when she's never even physically met me, and a little bit too into this. And in any situation, whether you meet someone or not, when someone starts saying I love you or gets a little bit too close, my initial reaction, regardless of age or beauty, is to back off. It's just how I've always been for the last 30 years of dating, or whatever you want to call it, and that's just my thing. So that's exactly what I did, and I realized that Mactan, Newtown was definitely not for me. After 3 days, I was like, this is a great place if you were 20 years older than me and you wanted to get with a girl that is young enough to be your granddaughter and kind of just go to the same restaurant every day and buy one of those overpriced condos and sleep together and go out to eat together and lead an extremely boring life, with the exception of going into Cebu City Central or perhaps doing some travel around Cebu. I know Cebu is beautiful, but Mactan, Newtown was definitely not my vibe at all. So I went to Cebu City Central, and that was a little bit better. That was acceptable, but they had better food, and there's a lot more attention from women because there was just more women. I mean, Mactan, Newtown is basically a nothing to me. And yeah, it was great, but it was like, it's got to be more to this. At that point, I was willing to just go back home. Then I went to Makati. I flew to Manila because I go, let me see the big city. So I went to Makati, and I was impressed. The tall buildings had a room on a high floor. Definitely was a step up even from Cebu. And I stayed at a place called Air Residences, which is not exactly the nicest place in Makati, but it was like a newer building. It's like 70 stories, but it's not the Gramercy, it's not the Trump Towers. It's just a decent little spot, extremely cheap to stay there and extremely cheap to rent a place there, but I passed on that. So I had been hearing about BGC, and BGC is just like America, and BGC is the best and everything. So I gave it a shot. I took a grab in once, and I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. But you know what I got to do is I got to get an Airbnb here for 3 days. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but this is, maybe my best shot of living in America and the Philippines, which is, as a guy that was fresh over here going through culture shock and, trying to find good food and stuff, that was going to be my best bet. So I went to BGC for 3 days, and I woke up that first day in my beautiful condo that I had rented in Airbnb, where I still have possession of a condo there, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is home. This is comfortable. This is not a stretch for me at all. The food's excellent. It's safe. It's beautiful. It's 100 levels above Makati. I don't care what anybody says. Obviously, if you live in, Rockwell or the Green Belts, or you live in the Trump Towers or Gramercy or, these other buildings, yeah, it's going to be great. It'll be fine for you, but you're going to need to take a grab around. It's kind of spread out. BGC, you don't. So I loved BGC, and I immediately took possession of a condo for 1 year. And I was super thrilled, and I just, liked it. And, the dating options are extremely plentiful. You're an absolute star if you have a place in BGC. All the women in the surrounding areas, like the Quezon cities, the Pasay's, even Makati, and other areas that aren't quite as exclusive or expensive, are desperate to meet you probably just on your location alone. And the fact, maybe in my case, that I was, way below a senior citizen, or, in my 40s and, in shape and stuff. So it was really impressive. But, after a while, I just, I still wasn't sure, that I was going to stay here forever, because I hated the Manila air quality. And you can only go to so many Starbucks and malls. You can't work in Manila. And at the end of the day, I'm a beach person. So it wasn't until I came to Boracay on a one-way ticket on basically February 1st and fell in love with Boracay and obtained a residence here as well, and paid for it for a year up front, because that was the only time I could find a deal that was under 65 or 55,000. Until I realized, though, that, I'm going to stay here permanently. I am not going back at all, ever. Like, this is it for me. This is my place, and I am definitely ready to go clean out my storage unit and sell my vehicle and do all that good stuff, because now I've found home. I apologize for the wind, guys. But yeah, so at the end of the day, Boracay was really my deciding factor for the permanent thing. But I knew that I wasn't going to live in America. From pricing to women to not having beautiful white sand beaches like this, I knew that America was not going to be it for me. My money didn't add up out there. I didn't want to just work till I was dead. I didn't want to work until what's called proper retirement age. I didn't want to do any of that nonsense. A lot of people think you just get married and stay with, get married when you're young and be with the same person for 40 years and then you get to enjoy 7 years at the end. Well, I reject that. That's old hat. As far as I'm concerned, more and more people are retiring in their 30s or 40s, or semi-retiring, or being digital nomads. And you do not need to stick with that little thought that America came up with 100 years ago. You definitely can do whatever it is that you want to do, or whatever your money permits you to do. And you definitely should think for yourself and not worry about what your mom and dad think about you traveling to anywhere, whether you go to Brazil, Colombia, any type of cheaper climate, or somewhere where you're treated better. Go where you're treated better. You're treated well in the Philippines. You're treated well probably in Thailand. You're treated well in Colombia and Brazil. Your value skyrockets when you get there. And there's really just too much upside to go back to being a resident. But I'm a beach person. I was born on the beach. And I would prefer to die on the beach. And at the end of the day, you can't work anyways in the Philippines. So you may as well be on a white sand beach with blue water, unless you have a wife and you guys are running some businesses in Manila with that terrible air quality. there's really no upside. Also, I experienced 45 years of quick customer service, Amazon packages at your door in 12 hours and all that stuff. I don't really care about that. I'd rather breathe this clean air that I'm breathing right now and be walking the most beautiful beach in the world. Station 1, White Beach, Boracay proper. This is it. This is the top of the top. And I live here for what it would cost me to get a nice hotel for one night in the United States. A decent hotel. I've stayed in hotels much more expensive than this for one night. So I scored the deal out here, and Boracay was the deciding factor for my permanent residency in the Philippines. I love BGC. I still maintain my residence there. I love going back there. It's very convenient, and it's an amazing higher level building than where I live out here. But this really let me know that, oh, this is home. You're home, and you do not need to return to live ever in the United States. And really, the deciding factors were just being sick of all the drama, the family drama, the politics, masculine women, the pricing, just everything just 10xing, and rent and food and everything, just watching it slowly creep up, and just realizing you're gonna have to work yourself to death to keep up with this nonsense and keep repairing your Mercedes and keep doing all of this and that, when you could just check out with what you got now and you would be good. You could just check out and just go and just be smart and don't take on any dependents that bring 0.0 to the table, and you know, essentially make them your child or put their family on the payroll or whatever. Don't do any of that. Your value is still extremely high without your bank account. So just go ahead and go to Southeast Asia and enjoy your life. If a woman comes to the table with, you know, bringing some money, or she, you know, I can teach her to make money, or, you know, help her to become financially independent, or, you know, I don't mind helping somewhat or letting a girl live with me and stuff. But, you know, the reality is a lot of times when you take these girls on in these countries, you are paying for 1000% of everything. So I'm not financially equipped to do that. And even if I was, I probably wouldn't do that because of my age and my status in the United States, and just the fact that I'm a high level guy outside of my money, just to be brutally blunt here. So that's just my my reality here after being in Boracay for 6 weeks. And that's the bottom line, is that you don't have to stay in the West. You don't have to retire at 65. You don't have to get married. You don't have to have children. That's all old hat. You can do whatever it is that your little heart desires, as long as you're not hurting anyone. And you need to explore multiple cities when you get to the Philippines. Decide if you're a beach guy or a city guy. And you know, don't let a woman dictate your location and get met at the airport and all that stuff, unless you're extremely lonely, or you just don't feel like you have it in you to, you know, mix it up on these beautiful white shores and compete at a high level, because this is paradise, even down to the raised standards here in Boracay Island. I can tell you this is an absolute paradise, second to none. And the pricing and the way that you are treated is an absolute godsend, and you really, really have to see this to believe it. So definitely get out here, and you know, definitely you will see that everything that I speak is facts. And like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Hope this helped anyone that was on the fence, and I'll catch you on the next one.